Looking to take your football game to the next level? It's time to upgrade your gear with Target Football Smart Shin Pads, the ultimate tool for serious players. These smart shin pads do more than just protect. They track 16 key performance metrics, including sprint speed, total distance covered, jump height, kicking power, foot balance, and much more. Every session and every match, your data is captured and synced straight to the Target Football app. No guessing, no vague feedback, just real insights to help you grow. Want to know if you're improving your pace? Need to fine-tune your positioning or stamina? Target Smart Shin Pads give you the answers. They're perfect for players who want to train smarter, compete harder, and stand out on the pitch. Performance isn't just about talent. It's about data, detail, and development. Step up your game with Target Football. Visit www.targetfootball.com and start your performance journey today. This episode is sponsored by Torn Sports, and they are calling all pro footballers as this one's specifically for you. Torn Sports have just dropped their brand new bespoke grip socks, and trust me, these are next level. You can customize everything from your sock heights to initials, even your club logo. And if you're not a fan of grip socks, no problem, they'll remove the grips for you. It's your sock and your style. These are elite quality, and right now they're exclusive just for pros. Comment below if you want in, or give us a message on our socials. The link is in the description.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to Ball Talk. This is one of our insight episodes where we find out everything about the footballing world. My name's Noah, and I'm here with the footballers, Lewis and Ken. Funnily enough, you two are the hot topics today. We're doing Premier League versus National League, where we'll be going through game days, money, daily routines. All right? I assume there might be a big difference.
Maybe.
Who's actually better at football? Question one.
We've never played. Have we ever played like against each other?
It would be.
He's trained at Palace before.
Attack v defence.
It would, yeah.
Would you skin him, Ken?
What, now?
Yeah.
Well, now probably.
He's got no knees now.
I don't play now, yeah. I can't play, yeah.
Back in the day, would you have skinned him?
I'd fancy my chance.
Out of 10 times, how many times would you skin him?
It depends. Well, I don't know what looks like 1v1.
0.
0.
Are you that good? How many times would he skin you?
How many times would I skin him?
Oh, okay. Turn it around. Now, let's go through a daily routine to start with, right? So take me through a normal day playing for a Prem team and a National League team, waking up to going home. Let's start National League. What are we saying, Ken?
Obviously depends if you're a full-time or part-time club. If you're a full-time club, then it would be sort of morning into training, breakfast. Like the structure wouldn't be too far off the Premier League. It'd just be completely different, like standard of everything. The small details, like your
Staff,
breakfast would be decent, but not like luxury. You wouldn't have all the options that you would at a Premier League club.
Caviar.
No. I've never seen caviar at our breakfast.
Why would you have caviar?
Because you can.
I guess. And then like even all the prehab and stuff that you would do before training and stuff, you'd have all the facilities to do it, but it wouldn't be like 10 out of 10 facilities. If you're part-time, then obviously it's evening, so the whole thing is, again, similar structures, but the time of the day is completely shifted.
And that's a good point, because like people will have jobs, won't they?
Yeah.
It's St Albans where you're at now.
Part-time.
Yeah. So do some of the boys have?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you don't really eat together, then, I'm guessing?
No. You come straight to training from wherever you've been doing during the day.
From a long day at work. That's long, isn't it?
Yeah.
To then play a 90 on like a Tuesday night.
Yeah, it is long. Very.
Yeah.
Premier League.
Yeah, so I suppose typical day, you could get in for breakfast if you wanted. You don't have to have breakfast, but let's say you get in for breakfast.
Surely you fucking would.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
Sleeping it.
Yeah, some people want a bit of extra hours sleep.
That's true, yeah.
Just have it at home. A lot of them got chefs, so.
Fair.
If they come in for breakfast, probably be in about 8:30 to have breakfast at 9, 9:30. You then go and do some treatment with the physios, and then you'd go in the gym to do your prehab, which is like your pre-activation exercises before you go out on the pitch. Probably an hour and a half of training. Max, you might do a bit of like individual stuff after that. Lunch, probably some more treatment. And then depending what day it is whether you have like a second session or a gym session. Sometimes you won't, and sometimes they can be in by 9 and gone by 1.
But they're kind of the same routine, right? If you're a full-time club, of course. Will the level of say physio, like change it completely, will make it very different. This is no disrespect to physios in like the National League, but they're not going to be on Premier League standard. So could that affect the day?
It's level of physio, but it's like at Palace you'll have typically a higher level physio, I suppose. But you'd have a masseuse there, you'd have a chiropractor maybe, you'd have a lot more high tech equipment to help.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's very true.
It's not just like physio versus physio. There's a lot more stuff that you get, like extra benefits when you're at a Premier League compared to National League.
Obviously, there's probably a difference in quality of the physios, but I'd say the biggest difference is we'd have 1 or 2 physios for a squad versus however many.
Yeah.
You can basically have a physio to yourself in the Premier League if you want, and then a masseuse and all of that. Whereas our physio would be the masseuse and everything. So that's probably the biggest difference.
All the man them queuing up. That's long, isn't it?
Even on the physio stuff, when I was injured, I'd walk in and there'd be a few TVs about, but on the main TV screen, it will have, let's say there's 5 boys injured. It will have hour by hour, sometimes half hour by half hour on the screen what I'm doing on the day.
Oh, nice.
So then you'd walk in and like you might see that, hold up, it's got me here till half 4.
Yeah.
So I'm here long, or sometimes you'll have you there till like 1, but yeah.
I guess in that difference is everything is going to be laid out for you by the minute, isn't it, at a Premier League level? And you lot are queuing up in the hallway like a Bonnie Blue shoot. How does your week change depending on whether you win or lose? Because like if the manager's fuming, he's not going, have a nice day Sunday, lads, I imagine.
Yeah, it would. The week would change if we lost. So let's say if we won, it's just probably a normal week.
Yep.
It depends on the situation and the time of the year. You might get an extra day off, sometimes the Monday. But if you lost, generally on that Monday, you're going to be doing a lot longer analysis session.
Oh.
So like sitting in front of a screen.
Grim.
That will go up, and you could even be called in on the Sunday. And then the atmosphere around the training ground is just a bit dull.
Yeah.
Everyone's sort of walking on
morale must be low.
Yeah, morale is low, and then it takes a couple of days for it to sort of forget about it and pick back up, and then you go back to normal. Yeah.
Part-time clubs can't really change, can it?
No, part-time you're not.
Is it like on the WhatsApp group though? Do they say any like info or messages almost like you would if you were in on the Monday?
You're a piece of shit. Go running.
Yeah. Watch this game tonight, lads. You didn't do
that.
Yeah.
I think obviously the morale changes a lot if you've lost, and then it would be things like go and watch this, or maybe the manager's sending clips in and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, there wouldn't be like, oh, we were in on Monday, because
you can't.
Yeah. Obviously, at a full-time club, then it changes. I've not been involved with a manager that would literally say come in on a Sunday. To be fair,
okay,
which is.
Oh, wow.
But that's usually because
I have many times.
That's usually because in the National League, I don't think the managers are paid enough to want to.
He probably wants Sunday off, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's
Sunday
so
off. Whereas in the Premier League, it's like. He's going to be working anyways, the manager, on a Sunday. So if he can drag the players in, he might as well.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, like, if you win, for example, loads of managers I've played for will be like Mondays off.
Yeah, nice.
Sometimes you can get a few days off.
Yeah,
really.
Depending on how big that win
was. Quick trip to Paris or something.
And they'll throw that incentive out before games as well a lot. They'd be like,
"That's genius!"
But we're off Monday and stuff.
Yeah, like genius.
By the way, on trips, just jog my memory. Yeah. So my brother plays for Faversham in the Ryman, whatever it is. One of the leagues there. They just won the league.
Nice.
The owner is
getting them away. Yeah.
The owner is taking them to Vegas. All expenses paid for, flights, accommodation, everything.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
The owners obviously caked up.
Yeah.
And it's like 20+ man squad.
Did he tell them that before, or was it a surprise?
No, I think he told them that before, to be fair.
100%. I'm saying at the start of the season.
I don't think it was like, right, if we win this, by the way, you're getting a trip paid for to Vegas.
Oh, mate, I'm playing out my skin for that.
So, and that's like step. What is it? It's not Ryman Prem. It's the one below that. What's that?
That would be like step 4, isn't it?
Step 4.
3, yeah.
It couldn't be the one below that.
So how many leagues below like League 2 is that?
Probably like 5.
Wow, and they're going Vegas.
Yeah,
that must be quite rare.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But you get the odd game where you go it just depends on the owner.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Owners will.
That just come to mind, but yeah.
Yeah, if owners caked, they will throw those kind of incentives if you win the league and stuff.
Yeah, because it's almost like a little fun hobby for them.
Promotions,
running the club.
Like you hear about trips like that, yeah, for sure.
I guess it's, if you do well at work, you get a bonus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not normally that big.
Yeah, not a Vegas trip.
Yeah.
Talking of money.
Yes.
Right, we're not going to ask you to compare bank accounts. I will after. Let's talk money. What did payday look like at your level? This isn't necessarily saying what you earn, but talk to me about it.
Yeah. Well, payday was just at the end of every month.
Yeah, fine.
Listen, I can bleep this out, but when I first signed I signed a pro contract like before I was 17, but you can only sign it when you're 17.
Okay.
And it was for £70 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 months after that, I then they made me sign a new one.
Yeah.
That one was, had that for a year.
Yeah.
And then my third and fourth ones went up to just shot
a week.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then the last one didn't. Yeah. So the third and fourth, the last one didn't go up. It stayed the same.
Okay. So we're getting a Vegas trip at the end of this if this does well, yeah.
And that contract finished when I was 23. I'm 25 now.
Yeah. Okay.
So but that was my progression for 4 or 5 years pro.
Yeah. But maybe we'll get onto it. The difference is the bonuses, because we've gone through your contract and the bonuses are crazy. Ken, payday?
I mean, it's not really talked about, to be fair. Like you said, it's at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't know. I don't see anyone jumping around on payday or anything. I guess.
Is it nice?
I mean, it's payday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No one in the training ground it's ever just turned payday and they've been like, right, it's payday.
I don't.
I've never ever heard that. The only thing I hear.
Yeah, but that's because you're all fucking caked.
No. Maybe that's why. But the only thing I hear is when someone signs a new contract, then they start getting the money shouts.
Okay, yeah.
Someone comes in and it's just signed a 4-year deal or 5-year deal at X amount a week, and then everyone starts money secured. Yeah. He's turning up late. He's doing all sorts.
That is good.
That's the only time really money gets.
Do you have a rough idea what everyone's on, or is that from the papers?
And
Sky Sports saying he's on 200 grand a week.
At the training ground. Talk at the training
do you
ground.
just tell each other what you're on?
Or just it just goes around.
Just flexing.
Them stuff goes. No, it's not like someone signs the contract. It's like, I'm on this, by the way, guy. I'm on this. This is what
yeah.
No, it's just I don't know. But might talk to the kit man. He might talk to someone else. It just gets around.
Okay.
So you just know roughly, yeah. So I know pretty much, yeah.
When you were at Palace, can you remember one that stuck in your mind as that's large?
What? Who was on a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually.
Do you?
Do you remember Max Meyer?
No.
So it was probably 20. I don't know, 17. We might have signed him.
Yeah.
Small blonde centre mid.
Right.
Attacking centre mid. He was decent and he was expected to do really well. He come over from Dutch league, and he was doing really well there. He come over for a few years and barely played.
Really?
And he was the first year of his contract. He was the most paid player at the club, above Zaha. He was on 145 a week.
What the fuck?
And he just wouldn't play. So.
Oh my god.
That was one I was shocked at. Yeah.
I've not heard of him since. You know where he is?
No, not a clue. We
That's
can obviously
mad,
look it up
isn't
after,
it? That
Max
is
Meyer,
mad.
yeah. He was a good player though. Just a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. Ken, do you all know what you're on in the National League?
Similar to what Lewis said, it's more word always gets around.
Yeah.
It's you wouldn't know exactly, but you'd have an idea. You'd always know who's probably better the most and roughly what. And also because whenever you're signing for a club, or the club reaches out to you, the first thing a player will want to know is what kind of budget that club has.
Yes.
What roughly what would the highest earner be, what would the lowest earner be, just so that you have an idea when you're negotiating. Because it's important. For example, a club could offer you something that's relatively decent for you, but it could be the lowest in the club. And
that's true. Yeah.
So you have to understand, and then if you're lowest paid in the club, the politics around that's
a really interesting point.
When results ain't going good, you're the first one that gets dropped.
Oh, that's deep.
That's how they get first year. When someone's signing their first professional contract, it's so easy to lowball them.
You can give them anything,
because
really.
they're like, well, you're going to pay me. Let's say for me it was $750 a week to play football.
Yeah.
I'm thinking fucking right.
And
then I hear someone my age just signed $7,000 a week, and I'm thinking, can we?
You've been fucked.
Yeah. So
you don't. Yeah. So because of that, before you even signed, you'd kind of speak to people, and whatever agents will give you an idea as well.
Yeah.
And you always have like a rough idea of what's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But people lie in football as well, so you always take it with a pinch of salt.
That's very true.
People lie in life about that kind of stuff, but in football as well. So, yeah, that's why I'd say you wouldn't know 100%, but you'd have an idea.
Right, let me ask you this, because, look, we're not asking you what you're on, but in National League, part-time club, I think the average UK salary is about 27 grand.
Is that what the average?
I
UK
think,
is?
yeah,
I think it might have.
25 maybe.
No, it's definitely not. I think it's like. I think you're about right. 27.
Yeah.
If that's the average salary,
which is mad.
could a part-time National League player live? We're not saying in a fucking mansion.
You could easily earn above average part-time.
Really?
Easily, yeah.
So you wouldn't have to have another job.
Depends on the player you are.
Yeah,
at the end
yeah.
of the day, like, everyone's not on the same thing.
Yeah, of course.
But like,
get
if you're a decent player, there's loads of players that play part-time and do nothing else because they would earn above that average.
Nice.
Obviously, I wouldn't say that average is very comfortable.
No, of course not. Yeah, we know.
It all just depends on who you are and
Yeah.
what you need to live your life. But you could definitely earn way above average.
Great.
Playing part-time.
Sounds good.
Even there's a player at my brother's level that's on like £700 a week.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice,
you hear
isn't
about
it?
that stuff as
Yeah,
well.
like,
The lower down you go,
It's
yeah.
mad. Like I'm just thinking. Obviously, the owner's got dough, but like,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking it's mad. Like £700 a week. You're a good player, but he's still playing.
Yeah.
It's not. He's not.
whatever it is.
His value isn't £700 a week.
No, of course
because
not.
because he's a step 5 player.
The Baller League lads get £400 a match day.
Yeah.
That's not bad, eh?
That's a lot
For a half an
considering
hour
they don't train
game.
Nothing. It's just
No
come
training,
For,
yeah,
not
shit,
come
I've
for
got
30
that.
minutes.
Not bad, that, is it?
That's a one day job basically.
Yeah.
That's very decent.
So basically, play football is what we're saying. As a job. What's the first dumb thing you spent your money on? Because obviously, let's say £700 a week, right? Is a very nice amount of money. It's not Premier League football standards, but that's enough to go. I can spend a bit of money on something else.
especially at 17.
At
Yeah,
17,
so you're
and
mad.
you have no
You feel
other
like you're
expenses.
rich.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, my mates were at school still, so
Yeah.
they weren't really
I
working.
think that's the biggest thing at that age, like compared to everyone else.
Yes.
Any money you get, you feel like you're rich.
Yeah.
Everyone else is at school.
Bit like £90
Like, they're
Wilco, innit?
They're going to school every day. I'm going football. I get paid for it, and they did it.
You're definitely buying a bottle of Moet Oceana, isn't it? That was the first thing you bought.
The first stupid thing I bought
Yeah.
was probably like a CP company jacket with goggles on the hood. But
How much?
It was like $450.
Cool.
But at 17, like I bought a watch, but the watch was. I don't think that was stupid.
Goggles in the hood is crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it? One of them.
Yeah, I don't know what I was. I didn't like it.
What was the watch?
The watch was. I can't remember the first watch actually.
It's like a nice little like £300
wasn't-
rotary or something.
No, yeah, it was probably similar price to the coat.
Yeah.
It weren't, but at the time,
You've been mugged off with a coat.
yeah, I did.
Have you still got it?
I might do, you know.
Wear it next step.
I've not worn it in like years, obviously, but
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first dumb thing you spent.
Yeah.
Ken?
could be the last dumb thing.
You should buy yourself a bag. Lewis rocks up every week. Bearing in mind he used to play for Crystal Palace in a Sainsbury's plastic bag with all
Well,
this stuff
it's actually never had.
Not today. Have you seen that over there? The little
it's never been
LV.
a
Come on.
It's never been a
It has been a Sainsbury's.
Where have you got that from?
What do you mean? Where have I got? I've had that.
Yeah, but like you bring the
Bro,
same.
he puts the LV inside the Sainsbury's bag.
because
Carries the
I was
Sainsbury's.
fed up of getting stick on this show.
You've got that, and you come in the Sainsbury's bag.
That's what I said to him as soon as I came in.
I've got a nice rucksack. I've got a nice backpack. I just thought.
You just put it inside the Tesco bag.
No, I just sometimes bring the cheaper bag so I can just chuck it away.
What about the Magista bag?
No, that stays in the studio now.
Geezer rocks up with a JD Sports drawstring, pulls out an LV wash bag in it. Make that make sense.
Yeah, because I can't be walking through London. I get
fair.
something get
Fair.
nicked off me.
Ken, what's the first dumb thing you spent your money on?
They just
Probably like, well, at the time for me, like spent way too much on trainers.
Oh yeah.
Like proportionally from I shouldn't
Yeah.
have been spending that much. on
Bad.
trainers. Not bad. Not that many, but like a couple, maybe two. Like way too expensive for me at the time.
How
Yeah.
expensive?
Well, if you're spending like £500 on trainers.
Yeah, that is a
as
lot on a trainer.
17-year-old
Yeah.
No, I wasn't 17. 18-year-old.
Yeah.
But you have to have a couple.
I bet you did an
At
Insta
that
story
age,
as
you have to
well,
have
like
some.
this. Little pickup.
I don't know if I did because I was very aware of like how that looks.
Yeah,
So I
okay,
think
okay.
I feel like I didn't do that, but I definitely probably on Snapchat.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
One of them. Do you think you get paid fairly, or got paid fairly for the work you put in?
Yeah, it depends what you mean. Like in terms of what we're doing, of course, I think football you get paid fairly.
I think what we should say is
comparatively to others, or
I think in football, because comparatively to others, you're getting paid very well.
Yeah, but I mean others in the football.
Yes. Sorry, I'm talking. Let's think of the football because we know football is a privilege. There's a lot of money in it.
There was players who I thought I should even though I was injured a lot, I thought I should
Max Myers.
I should be on a lot more, or at least if they're on that much, I should be on this much.
Yeah.
And that always wasn't the case.
If you didn't know anyone else's salary, do you think I'm fine with this?
Yeah, of course. Because then I'd be because I wouldn't know how much footballers should be actually can get.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if I'm getting paid X amount, which I mentioned before to play football, then I'm obviously going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
So I think obviously you can't say footballers aren't paid fairly, man.
Ken, part time. Do you think you get paid fairly? You should be get paid more, or maybe it's a bit too much?
He's not going to say too much. Don't give him any ideas. Sorry, you know what? You take that one because I haven't really heard that.
But you know what I mean, like part time.
Definitely
You know what I'm saying? Good save.
It's a good question. What's the context? You know what's going on, or you don't?
Let's say a part-time club, you do know what's going on.
Okay.
Around your club?
Yeah.
Then no.
Yeah, I thought.
Mention any names? I'm joking.
Nah.
So that's just based off where you think your ability's at compared to others, and where everyone else is getting paid. Basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
But without knowing, then without context, then you'd say, I mean, you're paying more than average UK salary to train 2 nights a week.
Kickball. Yeah. It's not bad. That. How much pressure comes with these wages? Like, do you ever feel like, oh my God, I'm on this much a week, I've got to do well tonight? Or does it not come into your head in that way?
No, I swear to God, I never thought about my wages when I was playing football.
Yeah.
Very rarely. When I first started signing a pro contract, maybe like I said, the first month.
Yeah.
When you first see the money, but after that, it doesn't really enter your mind.
You don't think about it.
Do you think that changes depending on if you're playing?
It would change
in the league, and depending on results.
It would change, like if I was.
For example, if you're top earner at Palace and Palace are having a terrible season, and personally you're not delivering, do you think you'd?
We saw it at Rice, didn't we? £100 million man can't deal with the pressure of the price tag.
Yeah. Do you think that would come?
I think because I was never like in a full first team environment, like playing week in, week out. I think it would. Also, I didn't have like my own house. I didn't have kids or a family to fit, so I wasn't thinking let me try and push this even more, because I was still so early on. I was just thinking about actually making a career. So that's probably why it didn't come to mind. But I imagine you'll be a lot more wary and pushing of what you want to earn as you get older.
Yeah, I don't think that'd come to mind at that age. Yeah, you're just trying to get
the only thing
as
that
good as you can.
The pressures could come with it is like trying to keep up with players around you that are coming into training wearing certain things or in a certain car.
I see.
Or like they're going on holiday certain places. Then you can
pressure to fit in with the other footballers.
You're a footballer. You need to start living like one.
I got you. Because is it like school when my mate his first car was a purple KA, and we were like, that's embarrassing. No, a Ford KA.
Do you not hear who was it? Alex Song speak about this?
No.
He said apparently, so when he came to Arsenal, Thierry Henry had I don't know what car it has, but
probably quite nice. Yeah.
And obviously he signed and he's thought, I need to have that car.
Mad.
So he's gone and bought it 2 days later, and he said Henry was kind of speaking to him, saying, "What are you doing?" He basically knows you can't have you shouldn't be able to buy a car. And he's obviously thought he needs to keep up with Henry. And he said within a week or so, he's had to return it because
that's mad, isn't it?
He realised the cost and said he can't do it. But that's come from even at that level where he would have earned a lot of money, but seeing Henry earning probably significantly more, and thinks I need to keep up with him, without actually just thinking, hang on a sec, he earns a lot more. I don't have to keep up.
But would it ever come in the sense of going into training ground and like I did at school, being your car's shit, and then going I need a better car?
I don't know. I don't know
what he's saying. Just randomly saying Your car's shit, by the way.
We were 18. I'm not saying I'm doing it at 30.
Yeah,
That's a school.
That's 100% a school.
Yeah.
Even Crouch did that, by the way. Peter Crouch. Remember,
What?
he bought a.
I remember hearing about
what
this.
was it?
Yeah.
Was it a Aston Martin? No, was it? What was it?
Was it Vanquish? It was something mad.
It was like an Aston Martin
Yeah.
or something like that. Or and he just said like he could barely fit in it. And
Yeah.
He just bought it because he thought that's what footballers buy.
Yeah.
And then he pulled up to a petrol station and Roy Keane was next to him and give him stick.
Really?
And then a week later he sold it.
That is mad.
Come off and give him stick. But
You've
yeah.
got to get rid.
So even him,
that's
like an England
human
player,
nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
he's like trying to fit in with what people expect him to do.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that must happen a lot.
Loads,
Like people, it's kind of human nature. You
Yeah.
want to flex, and
of course.
it's stupid, in
especially when you
theory,
first get it as
but
well. Like,
yeah,
It is stupid, but
Yeah.
we'll do it.
but people do it. Yeah,
Apart from Lewis with his Sainsbury's bag.
humble king.
Right, let's get on to one of my favourite things to talk about. A little bit about food.
Okay.
National League and Premier League, they're obviously going to be different. But are we talking personal chef and meal deals?
Personal chef's a bit far, I'd say, but personal chefs,
Yeah.
there's probably like 3 or 4 chefs between a team.
Do they cook good shit?
Yeah, so they'll have a spread out like a buffet, but healthy. They get rid of the unhealthy stuff.
Lol.
Like
You don't want
full
pan au
English.
chocolat.
Or yeah, we won't have none of that. But then they will make stuff on demand as well.
On demand. Get me this now.
No, like if there's,
Yeah,
if there's certain like if you
omelette.
wanted an omelette with something
Yeah.
that weren't there, then they'd make it.
Ken, I'm interested. Chefs? Or you have to sort your own food out?
we're sorting a lot of our own food out.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are like eating at the club, it wouldn't be like that. Wouldn't be shit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like on demand, and it's more the options are very like might have one option or 2 options.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed
Yeah.
to
A buffet.
loads of options, vegetarian,
Mm-hmm.
Shakes, stuff like that.
Yeah, so
Salad
it's more
bar.
like, but the options would be good options for footballers, but just not like a
Less-
mad choice.
yeah.
And yeah,
Sometimes helps you though.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Get less fat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right, let me do this. Premier League, National League. Go to breakfast.
Yeah.
Let's talk Premier League first.
It's what
Your
when I was
personal-
playing,
Yes.
because it changed. Okay, so when I was playing, I'd have. Well, it changed to be honest, but
If you had to put it down to
yeah,
one
I'd have
breakfast.
like scrambled egg on 2 bits of toast.
Okay,
With,
Ken.
with one of them on one bit of toast has peanut butter.
Oh,
Yeah.
not bad. Dessert.
Mine changes a lot.
If you had to single down one.
Probably have scrambled eggs on toast.
Yeah. it's
No
the most
porridge
common.
in there. I thought there'd be a porridge in here.
I think
People like
if
porridge,
I
but I have porridge every now and then. But
Yeah.
it's
An
not
overnight
really
oat.
my go-to.
sometimes I'd have porridge in the morning, but I do prefer toast, like eggs with toast. If I would have porridge, I'd get rid of the toast probably.
I can't do hot food before exercise. Makes me
Really?
feel weird, yeah. But that's just me.
Porridge is hot.
No,
you'd have
overnight.
cold-
Overnight,
right,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. Lunch, Premier League. One go-to lunch.
My go-to would be like salmon
Oh,
with
bougie.
with like sweet potatoes.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Or
I didn't
chicken,
expect that.
salmon or some sort of fish or chicken with sweet potatoes, and then like mixed veg.
Nice. Dessert?
No,
Banana?
I'll probably have a bit of fruit with it.
Nice. Ken?
Chicken with either rice or sweet potatoes is a good option.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
Solid.
desserts.
No desserts.
Nah.
Dinner, Premier League.
Yeah. Mine,
What's your go-to
mine
one?
Mine would be the same as lunch.
You'd have the same thing?
No, like it'd be one or the other.
It wouldn't be
Okay.
like that different.
It'd be my dinner and
Got
lunch
you.
at football would be similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But are you not like, I'm going to go to Ken for this. It's chicken. Are you not like, oh, just getting Nando's for dinner because it's chicken?
Every now and then, yeah. of
Yeah.
course. Not every day, but every now and then for sure.
I think I'd do it every day.
What we did for dinner is because you wouldn't have dinner at the club if you're training.
Yes.
You'd leave before, so we just
take food in it.
yeah we just.
Or they make a little
they'd-
takeaway box.
We could take like we'd just take some for the whole week.
Bro, I'd take for the whole family. I'd
Yeah.
take like 6 Tupperwares in.
Yeah,
and
the boys who
load up.
the younger lads who just moved into their own flats and that couldn't really cook. They'd take everything.
Yeah,
They
100%.
would take everything.
Just load it up. And what kind of recovery are we getting after the game at the different levels?
After the game and after training, because after the game sometimes you don't
Yeah, fair.
even do. You might just get a rub or like you might not get anything because you just go home. But after training, it's pretty much anything you want: sauna, steam room, massage, ice bath, hot bath.
Nice.
There's literally everything. So it's optional. So it's not a
Would you use that?
yeah I would yeah definitely. I liked an ice bath. but I wouldn't do like, I don't know. I'd use it, but it's optional. They don't make you do it.
Yeah, fair. Ken?
After training,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
rubs,
night for you, isn't it? So it's a bit different, isn't it? Yeah.
massages, you can get
Yeah, mine would be
and
ISO
ice
actually
baths, ice baths,
on the knees.
Yeah.
ice baths as well. Yeah, not fancy ice baths, but ice baths.
You not like an ice bath? Oh, we've had this chat before, haven't we?
Yeah.
I don't use an ice bath. No,
Do you have cold showers or anything?
I hate cold.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything cold?
I probably should. I'm not like ice baths
Yeah.
definitely have,
But I think-
but it's just
I think-
I can't. It's
Yeah.
not for me.
They're good at like pre-season. I think they're decent.
Yeah, it's not bad in pre-season.
When you're an older player.
Yes.
But when you're a younger player, they sometimes didn't want us to do it
Really?
because what it does, it basically stops the growth happening, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So you wouldn't do it
blood
after
flows a bit.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it after a gym session. Like,
Yeah.
Because it's not built for that. It's basically just going to make you feel better, but stop the growth. So you're not going to. When you're younger, you will almost want to be in pain a bit, so you can push you can upgrade the limit of your
Yeah.
body's capacity. Really.
Love it. I don't like the heat. I got to go cold. We should have done Premier League, National League, Sunday League.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, we could do that next time.
Do you think the club, when we're talking about recovering things, do you think the club cares about your long-term health, or are you just a cog in their
Long
business?
term, as in like more than like
after
5, 10
your whole
years.
life, because the answer is no.
Definitely not.
Probably not when you're like 70. But do they like?
They
you were
care about
injured
your
quite a
health.
lot.
Whilst you're at the club,
Yeah.
that's all.
They care about your health for as long as you're at their football club playing for them.
So you don't think Palace were bothered if you recovered after?
If I'm not playing for them, no.
Really?
They're really, that's like
That's a bit.
they care about you as the asset that
Yeah.
they're investing in. As soon as they're not investing in it, they don't they have a duty of care and like legal stuff to follow, but they don't really like care about your future health. Otherwise, they wouldn't make you go through certain things.
Yeah.
Which they do for training 3 times a day, every day of the week. They wouldn't
Yeah.
do that because it's not necessarily good for your long-term health.
It does make sense. And when you're injured, Ken, you were injured earlier this season. When you like weren't playing, weren't training, were people checking up on you, texting you, ringing you?
I mean, yeah. So this is how you kind of know that they don't care about your long term health.
Okay.
Because there's a pressure to come back
Yeah.
as quick as possible.
Exactly.
And like, even from my own perspective this season, I came back way before I was like 100% fit.
Really?
And pretty much till the very end of the season, I was just playing through like pain and stuff. And to be honest, as a footballer, you sign up for that. Like, you will play through a lot of pain until the point where it's actually completely either destroying your performance or it's just too much. So you kind of know it's part of the game, but you're also pretty much encouraged to do that. Like, you're pushed to do that. Obviously, if you decide that, nah, I'm not doing it, then you won't play, but then what? Like,
Who's pushing you? Physios, manager, owner, other
The
players?
pressure to have a career is
that,
pushing you as well.
you
that
have
is
the pressure
very
within
true.
yourself. So
Yeah,
even if no
yeah.
one pushes you,
Yeah.
you will come back. So when I say like I've played through pain and stuff, like even if no one was banging on the door saying get fit, like I would have done that.
But they're not like banging on the door. But you know they're not going to play you if you don't like. Or they almost want you to get back as soon as possible, and they're trying to like egg you back, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Without actually saying, right, come on, play through this pain and get back. Because it's like, all right, someone else will come in the team then. And
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
play well, they'll stay, and then you'll be out. And that's what it's a sort of you're communicating without communicating.
Yeah, like for me, obviously when I wasn't on the pitch, there wasn't much I could do.
Yeah.
But the moment like I got back on the grass, between getting back on the pitch was accelerated. It was like a week.
Really?
It was like I was supposed to do like slow straight line running,
Yeah.
and then do like change of direction running, then get back into like non-contact training stuff. It was literally just done one running sesh, and it hurt. And I told the physio coach there's a reaction, but cool. Next session, like built it up, the running. So we went from running slowly to just now like run at speed.
Yeah.
That's so
And
common,
then
isn't it?
then I was put on the bench one game just because we had no numbers, and that manager was like, I know you're not fit to play, but like just gonna put you on the bench. 10 minutes to go, he's like, can get on. And then from that minute on, now that I've played,
And you can't
it's
say
like,
no,
no, you're
can
back
you?
in, yeah.
You wouldn't say
I
no,
couldn't
would
say
you?
no.
No.
Like, he asked me, are you like fit to play? Like, can you go on? And I was like, I'm gonna tell me, I'm here now. Like,
Yeah, I'm not going to say no. Yeah.
And you do it, and like I said, you play through it, and you're fine. But is that good for you in 10 years?
Did you know
Probably
instantly, like, it's hurting?
I mean, it was hurting in the warm-up, so I knew, like,
Yeah,
it was, I knew I wasn't
and he wouldn't
fit.
put you on the bench if he didn't have a plan to bring you on. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
potentially
Yeah.
want to bring you on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Physios love mapping out this step-by-step strategic plan where it's like gradually building you in, and it never does.
Really? Same at Premier League level?
It's,
I think this is a football thing.
yeah, it's a football
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, it will be for the higher profile. Actually, no, it's the same at Premier.
You want your best place to play, I guess.
They're going to like see you're getting past the first stage fine and be like, right, you look good there. Let's go to here, and then you look good there. Bang, he's in. We need you on
Yeah,
the
the
weekend.
physio
Mad,
had
innit?
the plan,
Yeah.
and literally the sports science coach, obviously, because he's the one that's going to work with you on the pitch.
Yep.
The manager and the sporting director as a 3 versus the 1 were like
Yeah.
speaking to me. I remember the sporting director spoke to me and said, like, the physio, she's mad cautious, basically. Like she's on. We know she's on the very cautious side.
Telling you you're good.
Yeah. But look, like I said, you're your own person,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you as well want to play.
That is
and-
true.
and
You
there's-
could
there was
say
important
no.
things. Like, I could 100% said
Yeah.
that I'm not feeling right, but
Yeah.
you're kind of like, look, if I can just get on the pitch and actually perform at any level, you just want to do it.
So maybe you don't care about your long-term health. If you're
Someti-
willing to
yeah,
go
but
through the pain
but
and stuff.
sometimes you're naive to the fact that it will affect your long term.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
you're definitely naive to that. Like I don't think any players walking around thinking this is going to
affect me in 15 years,
mean
yeah.
that I can't walk or something. Like you're not thinking
Yeah,
about that.
you're not.
Mm.
You're definitely naive to it, but also there's an element of it that you don't care that much.
Yeah.
Like there's a like you probably don't care as much as you should. You
Mm-hmm.
care a lot more than the club. The club literally won't care. Like as soon as you're out of contract, if you were in a wheelchair the next day,
Yeah.
it won't.
It's mad,
They,
isn't it?
won't care.
Yeah.
Whereas you will
I do-
care about
I
that.
get it in a way, but it is still mad.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's mad.
Right, before we get onto bonus questions, match day at a Premier League level and a National League level.
Yeah.
When you're getting off the bus, Ken, are you swarmed by fans? In Truro.
Sorry enough, we were at Truro.
Oi, come on.
But that's because Truro needed a win to win the league, so like they were
Okay.
like
big.
It was a big day for them.
Yeah.
The game before, there was a lot of people there, wasn't there?
Yeah, yeah,
Home
but,
derby,
yeah. But we weren't swarmed by fans. That
Oh,
game.
okay.
It was a lot at the ground when it came, but like
Yeah.
And when you
that
pushed
was
over
the
that
whole
little
game,
girl,
to be
yeah?
fair. It weren't me.
Screaming
I've
girls.
commented on every single post that he's done. If you walked through St Albans
Yeah.
on a normal Saturday, would people go, Ken, can I get a picture?
Not picture, but like hello. Like young kids would.
Yeah.
Young kids would like if they recognise me, ask for a picture.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a very like that's St Albans, right? That's a
Yeah,
small
yeah,
place,
yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
It's not London or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone knows everyone in St
Yeah.
Albans. Fans at Premier League clubs,
Yeah.
is it on a match day a bit mental?
Yeah, for the high profile players, it is, of course.
For Max Myers, but not you.
Yeah. For me, it'd be like if I was, whenever I played with the first team
Yeah.
and you get off the bus, there'd be people lining up to get pictures, autographs, regardless who you are. Like, even if just because you're in the
If
first
I
team.
stepped off in a Palace kit,
Yeah, they'd ask you
yeah.
because like they might not exactly know who you are, but they
Yeah.
know you're in the first team squad. And
Yeah.
So
Didn't
that's
that
what,
kid say his granddad don't know who you are?
yeah. He's a season ticket for
Oh,
20 years.
yeah.
But
I love
I've
that.
also had when I've been out and about in Bexley when I was 18 and had someone when I was on a night out and someone stopped me and asked, saying,
Really?
"Did you play for Palace, you Lewis?"
You're
So-
just a baller.
No, but that was like at 18. So the diehard fans
know.
definitely knew me when
They
I was
will know.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's probably because I've not played there for a while.
Though at the time,
Yeah.
the real Palace fans wouldn't know who you
Yeah,
are.
of course.
Not that geezer's uncle. Like, as soon as he get older, he won't know. He hates you.
Yeah.
He's not hardcore.
He's not.
hardcore, man.
When it comes to pressure on a match day, because what is interesting about this, you're playing for your own thing and you're playing for your own thing. Obviously, as a neutral, I think the Premier League is more pressure than the National League. But when you're in it, is there a difference in pressure?
It's hard to know, isn't it? None of us have played both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never woke up and gone into a game and felt like, right, I feel pressure today.
Really?
I've never, I don't know, I've never felt that pressure.
You're that good at football?
No, I just don't feel pressure playing football. Like, I really
Yeah.
don't.
Do you, Ken?
Would you
I
don't
don't think I
Cup
feel
final.
No, I really don't.
that FA Cup final, Champions League final?
I'm not that type of person. Like in terms of like, I won't feel it. No,
So you're packing your Sainsbury's bag and you're just feeling fine.
I just for me, like, what is there to feel pressure about? That's genuinely what just come into my mind. Like, why would I feel pressure if I play football every day and then I'm just doing it now?
Bro, that's cold, actually. That's coldest moments 2025.
No, but I don't know.
No, but like,
tell me, why would I feel pressure?
But my job as a presenter, if I had a big presenting job, I'd feel pressure.
Yeah, but if you presented every day for like 20 years.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
I do get what you mean.
I feel like what you're describing definitely applies to like being nervous. Like 100%, there's no reason to be nervous. But I feel like pressure is depending on the stage. Obviously, if it's your normal game,
there might be
very normal.
There
But
might be times I
there
feel
will
like
be
excitement. Not, I wouldn't call it nerves, but like excited. But I'd never feel like pressure.
Like, okay, today I have to perform.
No, but I know I have to perform, but that's not. I don't feel that as pressure.
Your mentality is decent, isn't it? No, it is.
No,
It's
I
like,
suppose, yeah.
like, a lot of people feel anxious, nervous when they've got a big meeting. Or do you know what I mean?
No, I definitely get why you don't, the anxious, nervous stuff. Like, if you're confident in your ability and you know you do that every day. Like, there's no, and you especially if you back yourself, you know you will probably perform.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to be anxious and nervous.
That's
But
what
you-
it is.
but- yeah,
right?
but
I just
like-
knew.
But then I see pressure as a bit different. It's almost like your own pressure you put on yourself anyway. It's like,
Yeah.
right, today I need to be the match winner.
Yeah.
That's not like, oh, I'm nervous, I'm shitting myself. That's
Yeah,
just, okay, today, like, we're...
But I get that. But let's say St Albans need one goal and you're playing striker.
I think there's a
Pressure.
Yeah.
Surely.
I think, like, the last 2 games we played, like, we had to win both of them. So there's, like...
Yeah.
Like, you're thinking... You go into the game, it's like, not nervous or anything, but today's a huge day. We
Yeah.
need 3 points at all costs.
Lewis, if you play
that's
against
not-
Xavi and Iniesta in midfield,
No,
surely
but
you're
that's-
feeling pressure.
I wouldn't be like, right, you said if St Albans need a goal, and
Yeah.
like, right, that's added pressure. We need a goal. I'm playing striker, but why is it different to any other game? You're going to try and score. On the
Yeah,
other
I
game.
know, but like, if it's like we need this one goal to
There's more on
stay
the line
up.
on some games than the others, right?
There's more on the line, but it
That's
don't mean
what-
the process don't change.
The process don't change. The preparation don't change.
All right, penalties.
You have to get yourself in that same mindset. Like what you're saying, if you can actually like achieve that mindset,
Yeah.
you'll be calm, you'll be flying.
Yeah.
The problem is when people treat those big games completely differently
Yeah.
and overthink them. That's when you don't perform. You definitely want to basically look at no matter what the game and just think, right, it's another day to perform.
But
I think if you're confident in your ability, you just think, right, if I know I can play well today. If I don't, it's my fault. I fucked up somewhere.
Yeah, but like Saka last week, penalty at Real Madrid that he missed. He must be feeling pressure. And you're saying if you had that moment, you're like,
I wouldn't know
don't
in
give a
that moment
shit.
because I've never been on that stage. But
at your level, you've had similar moments
I've taken penalties in games. Yeah,
and you didn't feel.
I wouldn't call. I've never felt pressure like no, I wouldn't. Feel
I think
pressure.
the penalties thing you can't compare because a penalty in a normal game, if you back yourself, you just
Yeah,
versus a penalty against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu.
Like the penalty
none of us have actually.
Yeah, penalty I took was in the Premier League 2 match, and there was probably like a few thousand at Selhurst Park. Probably less than a few thousand, and it was just like goal just looks massive. The keeper looks small, and it's just like there's no crowd behind the keeper, and it's like easy.
Yeah, but then if you're at the Bernabeu against,
That's what I
Qatar,
mean.
The goal looks tiny.
That's what I mean. So
Courtois is massive.
I'm only speaking of my experience.
Yeah. Fair. And then like,
Goal looks massive.
That's what you think.
bro's just like kicked
never
toe
heard
poking it in,
anyone
walking away like whatever.
Why is this goal so big?
Asking the referee's regulation.
Yeah.
Can you make this smaller? Team talks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I assume, like you've spoken, the preparation is all the same. On a match day, I assume it's quite similar.
What in terms of team talks between the two? Yeah.
Yeah, like
It
warming
just-
up, team talks.
It's just going to vary between manager to manager. I don't
Yeah.
think
More
it'll be
manager to manager, I
level
think.
to level.
Yeah.
Probably more tactical because you're going through more tactics during the week. So I'd say that for when you get higher up the level in the Prem. But it's not going to be too different.
Okay. I've got 2 bonus questions.
Okay.
Because the middle one, you've already answered. Right. Would you, after talking to each other and comparing Premier League to National League, would you trade lives?
No.
Rude.
I mean, obviously.
I think so. You're aiming it as like, so you can work and get a wage, like a football wage, or
Yeah.
you can,
Like some of the lads that you said like have their own business, play.
No one has
I
their
don't
own
know.
business and plays part-time and earns combined as much as a Premier League footballer. Not that I've seen. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's not
I reckon.
Here's the thing, though.
1 out of 99 would say they wouldn't trade lives, but then the rest would.
I think, and then that would be some weirdo who thinks, I don't want to be in the limelight or something like that.
They'll
then they wouldn't
end up being a ref or
They
something.
wouldn't have played football anyways, because everyone that started had the Premier League dream anyway.
But hold on.
How
Would
can
you
word this?
trade exact lives?
Oh, so
So you've done 9 years at Palace, and now you're injured, and you
that's
carry
a
around
crazy
shit in
question.
Sainsbury's
Oh, yeah,
bags.
I wouldn't
Not.
change my life for anyone. That's a different question.
Yeah. And also, if you were taking the actual lives
what I'm
out
saying.
of just the situations, well, that means you can't play football now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why would he do that?
Well, because he would have been at Palace for 9 years and have an LV bag inside a Sainsbury's bag. That's what you've got to think about these
my
things.
Okay, next question.
Okay, last question. What is one thing people don't realise about footballers at your level? So when
Yeah.
you were at Premier League team,
I'd-
at National League.
I'd say they don't realise the amount of setbacks that the top footballers have overcome to get where they are.
Wow, okay.
Like it's just constant, and it's like there'll definitely be one or two in their lives, big ones that you think they can't overcome this,
Really?
and then they do, and that's how they get to where they are.
Okay.
So that's what I'd say is what people don't realise. Yeah. about
Interesting.
footballers.
National League. What do people not realise about footballers at your level?
I'd say the life isn't too far off a Premier League's player. So the lows of a Premier League footballer,
Yeah.
like you pretty much all have the same lows
Yep.
in terms of injuries, setbacks, not in and out of the team, losing games, all of those kind of footballing setbacks that can affect your mental health and all of that. You have all of that, but with far less of a positive.
Sad times.
What a lovely note to end it on.
I mean, that's just the reality, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Nice.
It's not
Yeah.
like you go down the leagues and you take less responsibility from a footballing. Whereas that's correlated with less wage. It's just the same, intense life, but just less money.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Fairs, man.
Let us know, guys, if you want to hear Sunday League versus Premier League. No, we're not going to do that. But thank you for listening, and we will catch you next week.